If grocery stores closed for 3 months, would your garden provide enough calories to sustain your energy? If a late frost arrived during the week your apple trees began to bloom, would you still have a harvest? Are you patiently waiting 5 to 7 years just to see your first meaningful crop? If electricity were unavailable for an extended period, could you preserve most of what you grow? Are you planting out of habit, or are you building a system that truly generates energy? If calories are cash, is your garden producing steady returns or simply holding long-term assets? These questions are not designed to create fear. They invite a deeper evaluation of what food security really means. Many people believe that planting a few fruit trees is enough to prepare for the future. Apples, pears, and plums are familiar and reassuring choices. Yet most traditional fruit trees require several years before reaching stable production. During that waiting period, weather risks remain present. A single unexpected frost can eliminate blossoms and reset the cycle. When food is viewed as an asset, the criteria for choosing plants naturally shift. Flavor still matters, but timing, resilience, and annual energy output matter just as much. Nutritional data shows that 100 grams of hazelnuts provide approximately 628 calories. This illustrates how dramatically energy density can vary between crops. In challenging times, calorie shortages often occur before micronutrient deficiencies. Foods rich in fats and proteins sustain endurance more effectively than fruits composed mostly of water. Storage capacity is equally important. Fresh figs contain moderate calories, yet when dried, their energy density increases significantly. This demonstrates that an effective garden is not defined solely by harvest size. It is defined by how well that harvest can be stored and relied upon over time. Productivity and practicality must work together. While many fruit trees take 5 to 8 years to reach consistent yields, certain shrubs begin fruiting in their second or third year. Some varieties tolerate extremely cold winters. Some bloom early yet withstand low temperatures without losing their crop. Others enrich the soil through natural nitrogen-fixing processes that benefit surrounding plants. This perspective does not diminish the value of traditional fruit trees. They remain an essential component of a diverse landscape. However, if the goal is to create a resilient and adaptable ecosystem, integrating high-yield shrubs becomes a logical step. When each plant serves a defined function, such as providing fats, supplying protein, contributing natural vitamin C, or protecting soil, the entire garden becomes more balanced and reliable. The transformation begins with better questions. Choosing plants based on steady energy production, early harvest potential, and long-term sustainability turns a backyard into more than a garden. It becomes a foundation for greater independence and confidence in the future. Once the garden is viewed as an energy-producing system rather than a decorative space, the next logical step is to establish a foundation. That foundation cannot rely solely on watery fruits with low calorie density. It must include plants that provide concentrated energy, consistent yields, and reliable storage potential. In this category, two standout options are bushform hazelnuts and the Chicago hardy fig. Hazelnuts are often seen as a simple snack, yet nutritionally, they represent a powerful energy source. 100 grams of hazelnuts provide approximately 628 calories. Most of that energy comes from healthy fats, along with meaningful amounts of protein. Under normal circumstances, this may seem secondary. However, when sustained energy and endurance matter, fats and proteins provide far greater stability than simple sugars. From a cultivation standpoint, bushform hazelnuts offer clear advantages compared to many other nut trees. Instead of waiting a decade or more, as with some walnut varieties, hazelnuts can begin producing in as little as 3 to 4 years under good conditions. Once established, a mature plant can yield significant harvests annually for decades. Another practical advantage lies in storage. When properly dried, hazelnuts can be stored at room temperature for extended periods, reducing dependence on refrigeration or electricity. Cold tolerance is another important factor. Certain hybrid hazelnut varieties have been selected for survival in very cold climates, while some fruit trees suffer bark damage or reduced productivity after harsh winters. Hazelnuts enter dormancy and recover reliably in spring. This resilience adds stability to a diversified garden system, especially in regions with unpredictable weather patterns. If hazelnuts represent sustainable fat and protein production, the Chicago hardy fig represents flexible and accessible energy. Fresh figs are naturally sweet and enjoyable, but their strategic value becomes even clearer when dried. As moisture is removed, calorie density increases significantly, creating a compact and convenient food source that stores well without complex equipment. A defining characteristic of the Chicago hardy fig is its ability to produce fruit on new growth. In cold winters, upper branches may die back, yet the root system remains alive. When temperatures rise, new shoots emerge, and those shoots are capable of setting fruit within the same season. This differs from many traditional fruit trees that rely on older wood to produce blossoms. The Chicago hardy fig is also self-fertile, simplifying planting in smaller spaces. When hazelnuts and figs are integrated into the same landscape, the result is a stable source of fats alongside a dependable source of natural sugars that can be preserved for months. Together, they form a solid energy base that supports additional shrubs, providing vitamins and seasonal diversity. Designing a garden with this structure transforms it from a collection of plants into an intentional energy framework that supports long-term resilience and confidence. With a stable energy base established through calorie-dense plants that provide fats and natural sugars, the next priority is timing. A resilient garden should not leave long gaps between harvests. The earlier production begins in the season, the greater the sense of stability and control. Two shrubs that excel in early and reliable harvests are Nanking cherry and honeyberry. Nanking cherry is a fast-growing bush cherry known for early fruiting. Under favorable conditions, it can begin producing as early as its second or third year. This significantly shortens the biological return period compared to many traditional fruit trees. Once mature, each shrub can produce a substantial crop within a relatively concentrated harvest window. This concentrated harvest offers a practical advantage. Instead of monitoring fruit for weeks, you can dedicate a focused period to processing into jam juice or preserved products. An important consideration is pollination. Nanking cherry typically performs best when at least two compatible plants are grown to encourage cross-pollination. This requirement is manageable but should be included in garden planning. The shrub remains compact and easy to manage, making it suitable for smaller spaces. Beyond its food value, its early spring blossoms add visual interest and mark the beginning of the growing season. If Nanking cherry represents rapid seasonal income, honeyberry represents reliability under cold conditions. Honeyberry, also known as haskap, is notable for its exceptional cold tolerance. Its flowers can withstand low temperatures and still set fruit, reducing the risk associated with late frosts. In many cold climates, honeyberries ripen before strawberries, making them one of the earliest fruits of the year. Early fruiting has a psychological benefit as well. After a long winter, harvesting the first fresh berries reinforces confidence in the system. Honeyberries are also valued for their naturally high antioxidant content. For optimal yield, it is recommended to plant at least 2 different varieties to ensure effective pollination. When Nanking cherry and honeyberry are integrated into the same landscape, they create an early and mid-spring harvest layer. One provides a concentrated processing opportunity, while the other offers dependable production even in challenging climates. This diversification prevents reliance on a single harvest period and distributes productivity more evenly across the season. A garden designed with this approach balances not only yield, but timing. With foundational energy crops established and early fruits appearing, the ecosystem begins to develop a steady seasonal rhythm that enhances resilience and flexibility. Once early season harvests are secured, the next priority is strengthening soil health and optimizing labor efficiency. A resilient garden is not defined only by what it produces, but also by how well it sustains itself and reduces external inputs over time. In this strategic category, goumi and jostaberry play complementary roles. Goumi is a shrub known for its natural ability to fix nitrogen through a symbiotic relationship with soil microorganisms. This means it does more than absorb nutrients. It actively contributes nitrogen to the surrounding soil environment. In interplanting systems, the presence of goumi can support nutrient-demanding crops such as tomatoes or squash. When a plant produces fruit while simultaneously enriching the soil, its value extends far beyond simple yield. In addition to soil improvement, goumi produces tart sweet berries rich in natural antioxidants. Research on related Elaeagnus species indicates that lycopene content can be notably high compared to many common fruits. This adds nutritional diversity to the garden system. Goumi can tolerate less fertile soils once established, making it suitable for gardeners seeking to reduce reliance on commercial fertilizers. Its adaptability allows it to integrate smoothly into diversified planting designs. While soil fertility is one pillar of resilience, labor efficiency is another. Jostaberry is a hybrid between blackcurrant and gooseberry that was developed to reduce thorns and improve disease resistance. The absence of thorns significantly simplifies harvesting. As the number of shrubs increases, time saved during picking becomes increasingly valuable. Jostaberry also demonstrates resistance to certain diseases that affect other members of the ribes family. This reduces the need for intensive management. The shrub maintains a moderate size suitable for various layouts and can tolerate partial shade. Consistent yields over many years make it a dependable component in a layered system. When goumi and jostaberry are integrated into the same landscape, they provide more than additional fruit sources. One improves soil fertility from below, the other reduces labor costs above ground. Together they increase overall system efficiency without expanding physical space. A sustainable ecosystem is built not only through high output but through thoughtful design. When soil health improves naturally and harvesting becomes more manageable, the garden begins functioning as a semi-self-sustaining system. This creates a strong platform for the next layer of plants that contribute protective and nutritional benefits to the overall structure. With soil health strengthened and labor efficiency improved, the next step is adding protective and long-term storage layers to the garden system. A truly resilient ecosystem does not only produce seasonal energy and nutrients, it also provides natural protection and preserves food for extended periods. 3 shrubs that contribute meaningfully in this category are Rosa rugosa serviceberry and goji berry. Rosa rugosa is a hardy shrub rose known for its adaptability to challenging environments. It forms dense growth with sturdy thorns, creating a natural living barrier around a garden. Without relying on metal fencing or artificial structures, it is possible to establish an effective biological boundary. Yet its value extends far beyond physical protection. After flowering, Rosa rugosa produces large rose hips that carry significant nutritional benefits. Rose hips are widely recognized for their high vitamin C content. Some references indicate that rose hips can contain substantially more vitamin C than oranges. This makes them especially valuable during colder months when fresh produce is limited. The hips can be used to prepare teas, syrups, or preserves. Interestingly, after the first frost, their flavor often becomes milder and easier to process, naturally extending the harvest window into late autumn. Serviceberry, also known as Juneberry or Saskatoon, is native to many cold climate regions. Its fruit resembles blueberries in appearance but belongs to the same botanical family as apples and pears. Historically, serviceberries were valued for their ability to be dried and stored for long periods. When properly dehydrated and stored, the berries can remain usable for extended durations, adding a reliable reserve layer to the garden. Beyond storage capacity, serviceberry provides consistent yields over many years and adapts to a range of soil types. It flowers in early spring and ripens in early summer, creating a smooth seasonal transition within the harvest calendar. This timing complements earlier and later producing shrubs in a diversified system. Goji berry introduces an additional nutritional dimension. When dried, goji berries contain a notable amount of protein compared to many other fruits. Dried berries store well at room temperature and can be incorporated easily into daily meals. The plant itself tolerates relatively dry conditions and does not demand complex maintenance once established. When Rosa rugosa serviceberry and goji berry are integrated together, the garden gains more than fruit production. It gains a natural defensive hedge of vitamin-rich reserve and shelf-stable dried nutrition. This combination strengthens both the protective and storage aspects of the overall system. An ecosystem structured in this way balances production, protection, and preservation. When each layer fulfills a clear function, the garden evolves into a space that supports long-term health stability and thoughtful self-reliance. When all layers are in place, from foundational energy crops to early harvest shrubs, soil-improving plants, and long-term storage options, the garden is no longer a random collection of species. It becomes an intentionally designed portfolio. Each plant fulfills a specific role, and together they create an ecosystem capable of adapting and maintaining stability over time. The 9 shrubs discussed can be viewed as functional groups. Hazelnuts and Chicago hardy figs establish the core energy layer through high calorie density and flexible storage potential. Nanking cherry and honeyberry provide early season harvests, reducing the risk associated with late frosts and shortening the gap before the first yield. Goumi and jostaberry enhance operational efficiency by improving soil fertility and simplifying harvest. Rosa rugosa serviceberry and goji berry add protection and long-term reserves while diversifying vitamin and plant-based protein sources. Designing a small garden does not require planting every species at once. A practical starting point includes 3 essential categories: a stable energy producer, an early harvest shrub, and a storage-friendly plant. For example, 1 hazelnut shrub, 2 compatible honeyberry varieties for proper pollination, and 1 goji plant for drying can form a balanced foundation. As space and experience grow, soil-enhancing plants such as goumi can be added to strengthen the entire system. In colder climates, prioritizing cold-tolerant varieties such as honeyberry or Chicago hardy fig improves reliability. In limited spaces, compact shrubs like jostaberry or Nanking cherry maximize productivity without overcrowding. Functional selection is more important than novelty. Each plant should serve a defined purpose within the larger structure. Pollination planning remains essential. Certain shrubs, including honeyberry and Nanking cherry, typically yield better when 2 compatible varieties are planted together. Early planning prevents the frustration of healthy growth paired with disappointing harvests. With a strategic portfolio in place, the garden begins to operate in natural rhythm. Early fruits arrive at the start of the season, mid-season brings abundance, late season offers preserved reserves and vitamin-rich harvest for colder months. Soil quality improves gradually instead of declining. Maintenance demands decrease as shrubs mature and stabilize. Such a system produces more than food. It builds confidence and practical independence. Rather than relying entirely on external supply chains, a portion of energy, nutrition, and reserves is cultivated at home. When each layer contributes meaningfully to the whole, the garden evolves into a balanced and resilient space designed for long-term sustainability.